So I am done with having a custom press button based on where you touch on the screen on the map. We can add a custom pin object or simply saying custom annotation to get the things. Now let me just show that because it's easy to show rather than explaining. So we wanted that this is a nice red pin on the Taj Mahal. We wanted to have the same pin on the Taj Mahal garden as well. So if I make sure that if I click on that and hold for 3 seconds, that's what I have set, I can get a custom pin at that point as well. Now I can click on this and it shows me Taj Garden, and this could have been set onto a complete new segue. But right now I have just hard coded this title and all of that. But you can give your user the liberty to make sure that he types in whatever he wants to save that. And usually that's the process. But we have already learned about the segue and we can do that. Of course, time consuming, but we can do that. So what I did for that, now here's the code that I have written to add the long press gesture, and it's really simple. So what you have to do, there's already built in everything. You just need to have much more knowledge. Now it's all about the things. Now you have come on to a such stage that you will be able to do everything if you have a little bit of knowledge or just a hint how to do that, or even a class name of what you're looking for. So I have created a new object that says pin on the press, that is of type of UI long press gesture recognizer. Now it doesn't really always have to work on the map. It can work on anywhere, any point. And in fact, in the 6S, we'll talk about that in a very late movie. And we can have many more customizable objects on the long press. Now that's not the class you'll be using, but there is a class, we'll talk about that. Now I'll be using this particular option of the long press gesture recognizer, and the target is self and the action is yo. Now you will be seeing one more strange thing, that after the yo I have added this colon, and we haven't talked about it for the colon. Now, when you give any just function name, it just runs the function. That's exactly what it says, but it just returns you a couple of values, not a very detailed value. Values like if it happened or not, or maybe something like that. And we want the complete detail of that, like what was the coordinate where the user tabbed, or how much time it tabbed, and all of these things. So if you need a very detailed information, you are looking for this guy. And after that, the pin on press, which is our object, can have a property of minimum press duration. So I thought that 3 seconds would be good. Otherwise, he might be scrolling the app or anything doing that. Might also be giving him again and again pop-up, and that he might not want it out there. So he might not be wanting that. So that's the thing that you can set on. And after that, I have just added the gesture on the pin on the press. So that's pretty straightforward. Now the tricky part comes onto the action. So although these 3 lines are only needed to have a long press gesture, but this is the function that we need to define. And this function should be done in the 2 parts. And I have actually done in the 3 parts, but depends on you. Now usually it just contains the 2 parts. The first part is take coordinate from the touch gesture, and second just to add the pin. And again, let me first talk about what's happening here. Then I can actually suggest you one thing. So what we are doing first of all is creating a point to add a variable, and it's a constant actually technically, but I'll call it as a variable. So point to add is a variable that is taking where you have touched. So what I have done is gr. Now this gr comes from here, which is actually a UI gesture recognizer object, or simply variable that is of type UI gesture recognizer, and it can access a property location in view. So actually it's accessing the location of where the user have tabbed on to a long time, and we are having a tab on the map. So after that, I have created another variable or the constant that says touch coordinate. So our goal is actually to access the coordinate of this guy, this touch coordinate. So again, it should be CL location coordinate 2D, which is pretty straightforward by so far. And what we are doing is map.convert point. Now there are a couple of convert out there. So if I just remove that and press Control space, you can see there is a convert point and there is a convert coordinate as well. So what you might be looking for is a convert point. So watch out for that. And oops, I have to hit the Command Z. And again, Command Z to have the convert point. So convert point takes two parameters. The first one is point to add. This is this guy because we have to take the points from the map, and to coordinate from view. Actually, from where you are taking these coordinates, you might be onto a multiple segways. And right now we are lucky we just have this self.map, which is one segway only. And after that, it's pretty straightforward. You just have to declare a variable custom pin, and that pin is going to be assigned on the coordinate of touch coordi, which is this guy. Okay, so pretty straightforward, nothing much. Just try to practice that a couple of times and you'll see that how easy it is. Now, this thing I have gone ahead and done insanely because I just wanted to show you an example. But usually this kind of thing happens onto a different segway, or in case of an iPad, it is being done onto the popovers. Now watch out for the popovers. We haven't talked about that, but that's a feature only available in the iPad. So we'll talk about that, nothing to be worried. So what we are doing right now, I'm hard coding the title and the subtitle, which I have already discussed in the previous movie. And I'm not going to show you what this does because I have explained this exact feature out here. So in the comment box, write down what does the line number 70 does. Okay. So what you can do is you can call the method of prepare for a segue into this, and you can actually take the user onto a next screen. You can simply add a text box where user can actually put the title and subtitle for the pin and press the done. And when the done is being called, you can call this guy again to add the pins. So again, time consuming, but yes, we have the knowledge. It will take some time and of course at dozens of errors, but we can do that. Nothing hard is there that we don't have the knowledge. So it is quite good. And let me just show you one vulnerability in that. Not vulnerability, but a technical fault. So if I run this, and because it's hard coded, that's why this fault actually comes on. So if I press and hold for the 3 seconds, and here is our pin. If I click on that, it says Taj Garden could be set on the new segway, and I would say it should be set on the new segway. If you'll hard code the value, what will happen? If let's say I want to go onto the Taj Raj bed and breakfast, if I click on that, the pin will appear here as well with the same title, and this is not the Taj Garden. So never ever ever do the hard coding for the title and subtitle. Right now we are just onto a demo phase. We are just trying to learn, so that's why I did that. But again, you could have called a multiple segue or master detail app and could have designed that. It's not that much difficult. Okay, so let's just revise the app very quickly. So what we have learned is we need to first create a location, which is created by latitude and longitude. After that, we need to create a span, which is being created by the deltas, the two deltas we already familiar with. And after that, we just need to set the region. And region is being defined by the location and span. Once this is done, just set your map for the region, and that's it. If you want to add a pin on that, just create an object from mk point annotation and mark the coordinate on that, add title, subtitle, and add the pin on the map. That's it. If you want to have a long press gestures, simply these 3 lines are enough to do so. But again, you need to be careful about that and watch out for that colon as well. Okay, pretty self-explanatory rest of the things. And let's move ahead on to the next movie.